80% of China's reservoirs exceed their service life. Experts all pose a risk of dam failure. Amidst rampant epidemic and economic sluggish, Chinese people struggle to endure the new year. One less escape route for China's rich as financial channels close. It's all covered in today's China Truths. 80% of China's reservoirs exceed their service life. Experts all pose a risk of dam failure. China currently tops the list for having the highest number of reservoirs and dams globally. Alarmingly, over 80% of these reservoirs are now beyond their expected lifespan. By 2021, there's been an average of 52.3 dam collapses each year, resulting in massive casualties. Despite these risks, the issue of unsafe reservoirs hasn't been adequately addressed, and the CCP is now embarking on a new wave of frenzied reservoir construction. German-based hydrologist Wang Weiluo has expressed, the floods and earthquakes in China aren't solely natural calamities. Human errors contribute more significantly. Under the CCP's rule, man-made disasters in China always far exceed natural ones. Over 67 years, 3,558 reservoir dam failures recorded. On December 28, 2023, during a press briefing on reservoir safety management for the year, Liu Weiping, Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Water Resources of the CCP, revealed that China currently has 98,000 reservoirs, predominantly old, with over 80% constructed between the 1950s and 70s. Many of these are in perilous condition, constructed from earth and stone, including numerous high dams. The increased frequency and severity of extreme weather events in recent years, coupled with dense populations, infrastructure, and economic activities downstream of these reservoirs, make ensuring their safety a monumental task. Since 2021, 11,763 hazardous reservoirs have been reinforced, and 3,200 have been downgraded or decommissioned. Consequently, Liu set forth safety goals: no casualties, dam collapses, breaches in major dikes, or damage to essential infrastructures. As reported by CCTV News on May 5 last year, the CCP allocated 3 billion yuan, about $422.447 million in 2023 for central subsidies to reinforce 1,890 small reservoirs. China has 9,385 such small, risky reservoirs. An 2021 official Ministry of Water Resources publication disclosed that from 1954 to 2021, there were 3,558 recorded dam failures, averaging 52.3 annually. Although the rate of dam failures has declined recently, the incidents resulting in serious casualties have proportionally increased. Addressing the multitude of hazardous dams, Wang Weiluo said, "These were built in the 50s, it's been about 70 years. They've outlived their expected 50-year lifespan and are deemed dangerous. China's reservoirs face a plethora of issues. The question is whether to demolish them or undertake expensive repairs for the sake of national and party prestige. The CCP has opted for the latter, pouring trillions of yuan into it." Wang highlighted that despite efforts to fix and reinforce, many treated reservoirs revert to being hazardous, with the constant risk of dam failures and overtopping. CCP aims to defeat nature, frantically building reservoirs and dams. Wang Weiluo points out that post-CCP, there was a crazy rush to build dams and reservoirs. During the Great Leap Forward, the scale of this construction rivaled the mass steel production campaigns. Traditionally, Chinese philosophy was about harmony between heaven and man. The ancients weren't keen on erecting huge dams on rivers. But when the communists took over, they flipped this whole mindset, pushing the conquer nature with human effort agenda. Another thing is the CCP's approach to governance, likening it to water management. They believe in controlling the water, not just guiding it. And that control is key for them. Plus, the whole dam building concept? That was a Soviet import. Chinese reservoirs started showing signs of failure in the 70s. Take the 1975 catastrophe at Hunan's Banqiao Reservoir in Zhangjiang. That year, over 60 dams failed in a domino effect, including the mid-sized Banqiao and Shimantan reservoirs, culminating in a tragic loss of 240,000 lives. Shimantan Reservoir was finished in July 51, and Banqiao Reservoir in June 52. They were both designed to handle once-in-a-century floods. But soon after they were built, cracks started showing, both in the tunnels and the dams themselves. So, between 55 and 56, they were expanded and fixed up to meet Soviet standards. But despite these efforts, the devastating dam failures happened in 75. CCP focuses only on dam safety, ignoring citizen lives and safety. The problem of dam failure in dangerous reservoirs has become a headache for the Chinese Communist authorities. Ensuring that dangerous reservoirs and dams can survive floods safely has become the most important task of flood control and drought relief headquarters at all levels. Zhang Wenjie, director of the Operations Management Department of the Ministry of Water Resources of the CCP, once said, "Strictly implement the operation of dangerous reservoirs with empty reservoirs during the main flood season." This policy, as explained by Zhang, often involves releasing water from reservoirs without prior warning or response to imminent risks of dam failure. Initially, the CCP concentrated on constructing massive reservoirs on major rivers like the Yellow, Haihe, Huaihe, and Liao rivers. Notably, the Yellow and Haihe rivers were the sites of last year's floods. In July 2023, the CCP's Ministry of Water Resources declared the floods in Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei, caused by heavy rains and reservoir discharges, as a catastrophic flood event in the Haihe River Basin. On July 13 of last year, Ms. Zhang, a resident of Laishui County in Hebei, recounted, due to the sudden opening of floodgates in Laishui County without any prior warning, a significant number of individuals and animals lost their lives, numerous people perished. Many individuals lost their lives in the mountainous areas, and many others in the plains. A villager from Kujiamo village in Shiding town, along with their 6-member family spanning 3 generations, was carried away by the floodwaters while en route to the county's central area. Addressing the Haihe River's floods, Deputy Minister Liu Weiping claimed a victory in reservoir safety, emphasizing that no dams collapsed. However, he failed to acknowledge the human and property losses incurred. Wang Weiluo criticized the CCP's dam-focused approach, accusing them of ignoring the broader safety and property loss concerns for the populace. Discussing the Three Gorges Dam, he pointed out the CCP's error in its safety assessments. The CCP's focus, he argues, should be on the people and their properties affected by the dams, especially considering the risk of induced earthquakes. He cautioned, nowadays, Chinese people are living in a relatively dangerous state, especially during periods of intense climate change. Everyone should have some understanding of their surroundings, including whether there are reservoirs nearby and whether those reservoirs are safe. Wang Luowei concluded that many of China's floods and earthquake disasters are not purely natural, they involve a higher degree of human factors. Human disasters are more frightening than natural disasters, and under the rule of the Communist Party of China, human disasters in China will always surpass natural disasters. CCP initiates another round of frenzied reservoir building. Amid the ongoing crisis of hazardous and decaying reservoirs across China, the CCP embarked on the biggest water control project on the Yangtze River in 1992, the Three Gorges Dam. Wang Weiluo explained that this current spell of intense reservoir construction fundamentally involves a shift from east to west. It begins in the river basins of the Huaihe and Haihe and gradually progresses westward to the upper reaches of the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. This represents a move from regions predominantly settled by the Han ethnic majority towards those with minority populations. The focus is shifting from national rivers to international ones, including progress towards rivers like the Mekong. It's an ongoing process of expansion westward and beyond. Amidst rampant epidemic and economic sluggish, Chinese people struggle to endure the new year. As the Chinese Lunar New Year nears, mainland China is grappling not just with an economic slump but also with a new surge in the coronavirus epidemic. A widespread sentiment among the populace is that unemployment is rampant, life is challenging, and accessing medical care has become a significant issue. The epidemic has been rampant in China since last year, with the authorities alternately ascribing it to the flu, H1N1, and H2N3. Currently, hospitals in Beijing, Shanghai, and various northeastern areas are overwhelmed, leaving many unable to get medical appointments. On January 25, the Chinese Health Commission reported that a recent rise in type B influenza cases has slightly disturbed the flu situation. However, the public believes that the coronavirus is the predominant virus in China, for which there are no specifically effective treatments. A resident expresses frustration. It's incredibly hard, with one wave of the virus following the next. In light of the upcoming new year and the economic downturn, citizens report widespread unemployment. Those infected and unable to afford medical care are left to rely on their immune systems. One netizen, Mr. Zhang, said that now, the virus does not discriminate by age. What matters now is your immunity and luck. Notably, as infection rates rise, there has been an increase in fatalities, including sudden deaths and instances of people collapsing in public places. On January 23, a video of a young individual from the 1990s generation in Zhejiang suddenly collapsing and dying on the street sparked public fear. Mr. Zhang observes, it's becoming more common to see sudden, unexpected deaths. Incidents of heart and brain strokes are increasingly routine. One less escape route for China's rich as financial channels close. The CCP's radical left-wing policies and the economic downturn in China are driving the country's wealthy to seek refuge abroad, yet their escape routes are increasingly being shut down. Recently, it was revealed that Australia has discreetly abolished its Golden Visa program. In detail, on January 22, various Australian media outlets reported that the Australian Labor Party government introduced a new immigration policy last December, prioritizing skilled immigrants and discontinuing the Golden Visa. Introduced in 2012, the Golden Visa is part of the Business Innovation and Investment Program. This visa is unique in that it doesn't require foreign immigrants to be proficient in English or meet any age criteria. Foreign nationals can secure a 5-year residency in Australia by investing $5 million Australian dollars. Consequently, the Golden Visa has been perceived as a quick immigration route for Chinese millionaires. The Australian Ministry of Civil Affairs has reported that to date, over 100,000 immigrants have been granted the Golden Visa, with 85% originating from China. The Australian government even tailored the official number of the Golden Visa program as 888, aligning with Chinese cultural preferences. With the cancellation of the Golden Visa, Australia has effectively closed a crucial escape route for affluent Chinese individuals. Australian analyst Huang Fujing, in an interview with Radio Free Asia, noted that Huang Xiangma, a Chinese millionaire barred from entering Australia due to political donations, had immigrated through the Golden Visa. He pointed out that a significant issue with these immigrants is their role as instruments for the CCP to penetrate Western politics. They are essentially propelled overseas by the CCP to engage in extensive infiltration under the guise of investment immigration. Huang Fujing also commented on the ongoing economic downturn in China post-lockdown, highlighting the CCP's financial struggles. In response, the regime has targeted the wealthy, nationalizing their assets through methods like public-private partnerships. Many wealthy Chinese, realizing the situation too late, are now desperate to leave. However, Western countries are assessing the risks and benefits of accepting these individuals, leading some to proactively prepare to shut their borders. Chen Yonglin, the former Chinese consul for political affairs at the consulate in Sydney, does not fully agree with Australia's decision to discontinue the Golden Visa. Speaking to Radio Free Asia, Chen Yonglin stated, Chinese tycoons transferring their wealth overseas might deplete China's economy, but this isn't necessarily detrimental to fostering social change within China. In fact, it could be beneficial. However, Chen Yonglin also highlighted that these individuals carry the CCP's ideology and various detrimental practices into other countries. These people introduce a large segment who benefit without contributing to the workforce, which offers minimal economic stimulation to society overall, but the societal impact is profound. Particularly, when wealthy Chinese arrive, they import deeply ingrained negative habits and aspects of Chinese culture, including bribery, significantly influencing the political landscape. This involves political manipulation and corruption. Post-2022, as the CCP leader Xi Jinping commenced his third term, affluent Chinese started fleeing the country. The Financial Times reported that the 20th National Congress marked a turning point for China's business elite. They became increasingly worried not only about their wealth but also about their personal safety. David Lesperance, a European lawyer, was instructed by 3 ultra-wealthy Chinese business families to proceed with their fire escape plans, which included transferring assets and securing foreign passports. By June 2023, Chinese emigration had intensified. A report by Henley & Partners, a UK-based global advisory firm, estimated that around 13,500 Chinese millionaires with assets over $1 million would immigrate within the year, the highest globally. They were poised to relocate with hundreds of billions of dollars in capital. The New York Times, towards the end of 2023, predicted this trend would significantly weaken China's economy. Currently, wealthy Chinese still in the country and planning to escape are seen as having realized the situation too late. Simultaneously, escape routes are being systematically shut down. In addition to Australia terminating the Golden Visa, there were recent reports that from February 2024, major banks in Hong Kong will tighten account opening requirements for mainland residents. These include at least 3 conditions: 1. Providing proof of at least 3 years of personal income tax payments, 2. Records of at least 3 years of Social Security and housing funds, 3. A Hong Kong or mainland phone card registered in their name, 4. Proof of mainland bank deposits, matching the amount intended for deposit in Hong Kong, 5. If the mainland ID does not match the actual residence, then utility and credit card bills or other documents verifying the address must be provided. An X-platform account Caging Glenjian notes that this move indicates the closure of the most prominent exit route for capital, with Hong Kong imposing stricter conditions on account openings for mainlanders. This might be in line with the Chinese government's directives, as the CCP is concerned about substantial amounts of money exiting through Hong Kong, thereby depleting China's foreign exchange reserves. Caging Glenjian also cautions that while Hong Kong is currently only tightening account openings, it may soon restrict the transfer of funds overseas. If people plan to move funds through Hong Kong, once the gateway is closed, many will find their assets stranded in China. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.